Welcome to Breaking Bread. It's a delicious weekly serving of conversation and cuisine. I'm your host, Tiffany Bacon, and every week we'll broadcast from a different restaurant, eatery, or chef's kitchen, where delicious delights and curious conversation is on the menu. We broadcast on Word Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM in Philadelphia, and worldwide online at wordradio.com and all Word social media.
And a very good morning to you. Welcome to today's edition of Breaking Bread. I'm Tiffany Bacon. We are back in 2025, new season, new episodes. Tell your friends to tune in every Sunday at 11 a.m. And you can always check us out on Facebook and, of course, on wordradio.com. Today, I am happy that this is the first time we're going to have a chef. And we're going to be talking about his cuisine, his creation. And we have a dear friend who's doing amazing things in theater. So my very special guests today are Nancy Gilliam, who is nominated for a Pulitzer Prize for her play, The Bookstore. And we also have Chef Greg joining us this morning. Welcome to the both of you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yes. Now, you know I love to talk. And I love to eat, so this show is a wonderful mixture of all the things that I love. And before we start talking about the amazing things you're doing, Nancy, because I want the world to know about what you're doing, we have a spread in front of us today, all right? So if you love brunch, you're gonna love this. Chef Greg, what have you prepared for us? I want the food cam to get a nice picture of the spread. If you're listening to us on the radio, if you can get to our social media or if you can get to our website, wordradio.com, you'll want to right now so you can see what he has prepared for us. So please tell us what's going on the table.
Okay, so at request of the special guest,
Yes.
you said she loves beef stew. So I took that and I ran with it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do beef stew, but I'm gonna do it different. I'm just a different type of chef.
I love
I cook
that.
everything.
Yes.
I cook everything from Mongolian, Japanese, Chinese, Caribbean, vegetarian, vegan, even do pastries and everything of that nature.
Okay.
So, you know, just doing something plain is pretty much never me.
Yes.
I like to do something different.
Yes.
So on that, so we made a Japanese beef stew. I've had this one time in Japan, and I was just flabbergasted how good and amazing it was. And I'm like, Japanese beef stew, never heard of it. But me, went home, went on the internet, saw what it is, then I put my little touches to it, you know what I mean? So we have a nice Japanese beef stew, and what's different about it? Of course, there's soy sauce and everything. It's totally vegetarian based, except for the beef.
Oh, of course.
So I could have literally made this vegetarian just as well.
Okay.
And it's gluten free. So it's gluten free and it's vegetable based.
Nice.
It has soy sauce, a little bit of brown sugar. It has different vegetables. So it has carrots, celery, onions, daikon, root vegetables that's just healthy and nice to give you that texture, that crunch and flavor.
Yes.
Then we moving on. And then I started thinking when I made this, because I haven't made one for myself in a long time.
Okay.
And it just took me back to my mom. My mom used to always serve our beef stew or chili with garlic bread.
Oh yeah.
So it
You
took me
talking
there.
my
said, you know what?
language right now,
You know
sir.
what? I don't know why they jumped in my head, but it did. So I said, you know what? I want to do some garlic bread for this. You know what I mean? It just took me back to my childhood when my mom used to make this for me and my sister. So we have some garlic bread going on. And then we have over there a nice take on a Japanese summer roll. So summer roll basically is normally pork, noodles and everything, but this one's different. This is a Philly cheesesteak summer roll.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So you have your fried onions.
Whoa.
You have your lettuce in there, and it's wrapped gluten-free bread. So it's a rice paper wrapped all together, and it has a little bit of cream cheese in there, and it has just a hint of wasabi in the background.
Okay. Now, see,
Go ahead.
you showing out.
Of course, I have to.
You were showing out.
Tips, so I can't come
And I
underhanded,
appreciate
know?
you. So
Yes.
everybody needs a bowl here.
Oh,
So
okay.
get your bowl. Get your bowl. Get your salad.
Goodness.
So let's start with you, since you've prepared this amazing spread for us.
Okay.
Greg, let's talk about the origins of you becoming a chef.
Most definitely. But what I'm going to do, since I've been snacking I'm offering this to the camera guy.
Yay! Our producer gets to try. I know he is
And
happy.
plus, I still have some in the back, so I'm good.
Amen.
I'm good. But I will have some more of this Philly cheesesteak.
There we
this
go.
Is really good.
Thank you.
And we want to make sure, so Nicholas Steptoe is our producer. He is handling the cameras and everything in the background so that we can be seen and all like that. So he gets to try. Let's talk about the origins. Chef Greg, how did you start cooking?
So, pretty much the same story as every chef that you know. In the kitchen, dishwashing.
No, get out. Wow.
Every chef pretty much started off washing dishes. So years ago, I used to work at a place called the Valley Forge Marriott. And it was a courtyard. So it was a small place, and started washing dishes. And the chefs there, they were getting older. You know, I was young, I was just turning into my teens. So every now and then when they would get busy, they would say, hey, you mind coming over helping? I'm like, so I'm all right. Starting off flipping burgers, making sandwiches and everything like that. Next thing, I just really loved it. And I took a shine to it. Then I just said, you know what? Let me stick into this. So I went from dishwasher and I transferred from there to the airport Marriott. It's the Hilton now, not the big Marriott that's there now.
Yeah.
But back in the day it was the Marriott, but it's the Hilton now. So I went there, and that's what really gave me that spark, that inspiration, because they made everything from scratch. Suey sauce from scratch, dressings from scratch, mousse from scratch, stuff that I didn't even know. I thought a magic fairy just made stuff and just put them in bottles. You know what I mean? I'm like, what you mean fresh cranberry sauce? Well, I just thought it came in a can magically like that. No, Greg, come on. We're going to make some French blueberry muffins, everything from scratch. And I was just in heaven. And I just got that itch. I just wanted to know more, wanted more. So I went from there to a place in, matter of fact, Chestnut Hill.
Okay.
8801 Sitton Avenue. It's called the Achievement for Human Potential. And it's a place for brain injured adults and kids. And they pretty much hired me, threw me in the kitchen, and said, you can't cook with this, you can't cook with this, you can't cook with this. I felt like my hands tied behind my back. Now give a million. And I'm like, me loving challenges? I said, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make this happen. And I did it. That gave me my first break into healthy cooking. And that's pretty much what I do now. Everything that I pretty much, when you get a cater event or a meal or everything is cooked healthily. Seasoned very well, but still healthy. And from there, I met a lovely family called the Catanales. They talked to the bosses there and they said, can you bring Greg over to Italy? And we'll teach him at the institute you have in Italy.
Wow.
And once that happened, that was it.
It's a wrap.
It was a
It was
wrap.
on like popcorn.
So I went from there, went to Japan, and I just studied culinary arts in both places and brought it back here, and here I am now. And matter of fact, I used to cook for Power 99 on the regular back in the day.
So that's where we met at the other station back in the day.
At another radio station.
At another
I
radio
worked
station
there
back
a
in the
long
day.
time ago.
Yes.
So and then that was it. I just love what I do. I have a passion, and it's different because it's healthy. I just promote healthy food, healthy cooking, healthy alternatives.
That's awesome.
That's it.
I appreciate you. So he's talking about all this healthy food. Let's dig in and try.
All right.
What is your favorite thing to make while we try this beef stew?
What is my favorite thing to make? It's between Caribbean,
Oh my God.
Japanese, Italian.
Pause. This don't make no sense.
No sense whatsoever.
Okay.
Oh, this is so good.
First of
It's
all,
different, isn't it?
it's the meat is tender. For those who know, I was vegan for 9 months last year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is not you. I went on vacation and had nothing to eat, and therefore I jumped off the vegan train for a minute, but I'm probably going to go back. So that's for those who were on this journey with me last year.
Okay.
The meat is very tender. Very tender. And the seasoning, it's like, now is it is it a Vidalia onion, or what kind of onion is this?
No, it's just regular Spanish onion.
Because there's like a little bit of a sweetness.
It's
to
that
it.
brown sugar he used.
Yes, the brown sugar. You caught it, yes.
I ain't
And it's
never
not
had-
overpowering.
Just a little, just a sprinkle. That's all you need. And normally I don't do it with brown sugar anymore because I stopped using sugars.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
normally
yeah.
use honey, avalva, things of that
Really?
nature. Everything, even my juices that I make at home, I buy nothing from the store. Everything is made from scratch. My ketchups, my mayonnaise, everything is made from scratch. Because everything out there has all type of preservatives and things that your
Chemicals
body's
and
not
things.
used to have or shouldn't be having.
Right.
So I cook everything and make everything. My own water, juices, flavor, everything is made from scratch at home. Except for mustard. I haven't done that one yet. But mayonnaise, ketchup, all that I made from scratch.
We'll have to talk. I put a pin in the mustard thing and the ketchup thing. Like, no concept on how I would make that and make it taste good. Like, I'm sure I could follow a recipe, but will it taste good? That's the question.
Well, I will be doing, don't mean to cut you off, I will be doing internet cooking classes. I did it during the pandemic, and don't know why I stopped, because it was really good, it took off. I guess because I wanted a bigger, better kitchen. So I think that's why I put a pin in it, but I think I'm gonna pick it up because people's been hitting me up left and right and was like, yo, when you going to do another class? When you going to do another class? I got things that I want to learn from you. So I'll be doing internet cooking classes again.
And here's the thing, I firmly believe that more people would cook if they like what they cook. Like if they knew how to make things and make it delicious and succulent and the flavors aren't just flat and you're like, it almost tastes like it came out of a box, but I made it. Great. Right. You know, if people made stuff that tasted like this, I wish you could taste this. I am so serious. I wish you could taste this. People would spend more time cooking.
I think most of the fear in cooking, if you don't mind me saying, I think the most fear is time. A lot of people don't want to spend the time. And us Americans, we're so used to instant gratification.
Yes.
And that's a bad thing because there's a lot of things out there that we shouldn't have. And of course, it's instant. So I can teach you how to prep through the week easily. So all you have to do is come home, 15 minutes, everything's done.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to amend what you were saying about don't want to spend the time. Some people really don't have the time.
Right.
Like a lot of folks are piecing together their life with multiple jobs.
Yeah.
So if you work a 9 to 5 and a 7 to 11, even the best prep, depending on how far away you are between your job and your home, you spend a lot of time in the car, and there's a legitimate, when I get home, I have zero energy for cooking anything. I just need to throw something in the microwave, or better yet, skip the microwave altogether. If it's cold, just put it in, or one of those, delivery services that can drop some food off at your door.
Uber Eats, yes.
One of those places.
Yes.
And then go into bed and get ready for the next day. And I think the biggest challenge is how many people have multiple jobs and multiple responsibilities where they really don't have. It's not, I don't want to. It's like, I really don't have. It's like, eat, sleep. I got to choose one.
Right.
So if you can help people squeeze that in, that's
Right.
super awesome.
What I noticed, like, with a trend that started that I was hoping that was going to last during the pandemic, was everybody was cooking home meals during the pandemic. Everyone. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, everyone's like, oh, I'm just making my own food. Oh, we're going to cook, and I was like, yes, but of course it was a pandemic. There wasn't a lot to do, so you could do that. You had the time, but it kind of fell off and things went back to a norm. And hopefully I could break that trend and make people understand that it doesn't take, you don't need to be in the kitchen for hours to create a good meal. On top of that, tasty and healthy. So I want to eliminate canned foods, especially canned cranberry sauce. So I got it.
I'm sorry, that's my favorite thing on that Thanksgiving.
Those canned cranberry sauce.
I love that canned cranberry sauce.
And I had one of my relatives
certain
was like,
brand
what,
only.
you can make this? And they were older than me, my aunt. She was just like, you can make this? And I'm like, yeah, it's not magically done. And I said, matter of fact, I'm going to do something and I'm going to put it on the internet where everybody learns how to make their own cranberry sauce, and hopefully no more cans that just be left on the shelf. No more canned cranberry.
I still might be looking for that though, just because it's part of
If
my.
you love it, then but if you tried a fresh one, you wouldn't go back.
Really?
I'll take your word
most
for it.
Definitely, yes. You
Wow.
you take a fresh one, you be like, this is how it's supposed to taste.
Right.
That's how it's supposed to taste. Yes.
Yeah,
Because when you add in all those ingredients that's not supposed to be in there, it takes away.
Okay.
So when you have it freshly done, and then any iterations that you want to do, you know, orange or passion fruit or whatever you want to do, that to add flavors to that cranberry sauce.
No raisins though.
Oh, don't do that.
Tiffany, do not make me choke.
Don't do that.
Don't make me choke,
Don't
please.
do that.
No raisins.
No raisins. I did that at a birthday party. I was like, who brought the potato salad with the raisin? Had everybody, the whole party, looking for the potato salad with the raisin. Like, where's this potato salad at? They was like, it's Greg, y'all. He's just joshing.
Being silly.
Yes.
I love it.
Lord.
Nancy, let's since we are enjoying this fantastic meal, and if you're just tuning in, it's Breaking Bread, the 2025 edition here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. I'm Tiffany Bacon, and my guests are Chef Greg and Nancy Gilliam, who is an actor and an author. Let's talk about this Pulitzer Prize nominated production, The Bookstore. First and foremost, tell us about The Bookstore.
So The Bookstore is a play that is loosely based on Sister Una Mulzac and the Liberation Bookstore in Harlem, and the COINTELPRO operation that the FBI launched against these Black-owned bookstores across the country in 1968. So that's the basis of the story. The play was actually birthed during the pandemic. I was online and I saw on Facebook that Sister Una Mulzac had passed away. And so a little back history, my older sister actually had a job at Liberation and she lived above the bookstore for about a year. So I got to go to the bookstore one day and she introduced me to Sister Una, and the love that just came from this woman, it was immediate and it was tangible, you know, without her even saying a word. We actually got to go to Central Park with her one day, you know, so I spent a little bit of time with her. And of course I moved away, and when I came back to New York, whenever I was in Harlem, I would go and, you know, peek in and say hello, you know, while the bookstore was still open. So seeing that she had passed away, and it had been years, and this was the first that I had heard about it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why wasn't this more broadly broadcasted? And on top of that, why is no one telling her story? And I just heard this voice in my head say, we were waiting for you. And I was like, oh, now that's something right there, you know, but you know, the ancestors spoke, and I said, okay, well, we're gonna do this. I didn't know how to approach the story, so I, you know, started doing research. And that's when I found out about what the FBI was doing, you know, with the fear of the Black Messiah. They were just trying to find a way to shut down the entire Black Power movement. So I started going along that line. I said, yeah, this is the story that has to be told, because a lot of people, you know, I would meet people and tell them about, you know, did you know about this, you know, COINTELPRO operation? No, I didn't know about it. I said, yeah, this is the story that needs to be told. So, you know, I got to writing during the pandemic, and it actually took me 3 years to complete this play, you know.
Wow.
And that's not normal for me. Usually I can get it done quickly. There was nothing quick about this. It was such a challenging experience because there was just so much information out there about what was going on during that, you know, whole period. And it was a matter of, okay, this is great information, but does it push the storyline along? And you know, it's almost like divorcing yourself from really good stuff, having to get rid of, and you know, I just like, oh no, but this is such a great line, but does it push the story forward? So it was a process, but we finally got it done. And I say we because I was calling on Sister Una, I was calling on Auntie Ruby, I was calling on everybody I could call on, you know, when I would get stuck. I'm just like, I need some downloads, y'all need to help me, you know. But we got it done, And we had the first staged reading at Temple University. Ontaria Kim Wilson was the director, and we had a bunch of beautiful Temple University students reading the roles. Then next up was the OG reading series with Theater in the X. Yes. And we just had an awesome time. So in between those two readings, I had submitted to the She New York Arts Festival. And right before the reading, I got the notification that the play had been accepted and would premiere off-Broadway at the Connolly Theater. And so it was a full circle moment for me because I made my debut as an actress at the age of 11 at the Public Theater in a play called The Wedding Band with Ruby Dee and Holly Holiday. And so it was a full circle moment because I got to return to off-Broadway, but this time as a playwright.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm loving all the themes in this. The theme of it's never too late, which is pretty much the sub-theme for our conversation today with all this great food that we're enjoying.
Yes.
You know, I want to ask both of you about your concept of it's never too late. Have you always believed in that? Or did it take something like what just happened for you, Nancy, for you to say, you know what? It really is never too late.
Yeah, it was a revelation because there was a point in my life where, because of situations and circumstances, I had to put everything creative aside. And I really believed that, you know, it was over. But I got to a point where I literally felt like I was dying inside. And then I just started thinking about the fact that God had put so much gifts and talents in me. And it was an ultimate slap in God's face for me not to be doing something. And using my trauma as an excuse was no excuse. So I had to get back. And so the easiest thing to do at that point in time, when I think my baby count was maybe 3 at the time.
Okay.
You know, I have 7 children.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't think I knew it was 7. I knew you had a few.
Yeah, 7.
But you have a squad.
Yeah, I have a squad. So, the baby count was 3. And, going to rehearsal and things like that, I didn't think it was possible at that time. So I started back, with the writing. I got a job teaching, and so I made sure that everything I did, every lesson, there was some aspect of creativity in it, especially with the plays and the skits. So it kind of started off slowly there, and then as I became more comfortable in the fact that, yes, you can do it if you want to do it. So I started doing, little by little, I started doing more. And the territory started expanding, getting me back into the acting and the directing and the producing. And I never imagined me being, I have no problem sharing my age. I'm 63.
You better go ahead.
And I never imagined that these years would be the best years of my life. Like, it's just amazing the things that are happening right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that for you. I love that for everybody. And go ahead, girl. You look good.
Thank
63
you.
and up.
Thank you.
Greg,
you.
Greg, come on in. How about you? Like, have you always believed it's never too late, or has that thought changed?
And I will say it changed. I was under the assumption that, you had to start off early, straight out of school, keep that momentum. But, the older you get, the wiser you get. The more information that comes across, yes, hopefully. The more information that comes across your path and you see other people's struggles and strides, and, later on in life, they change their career and went a whole totally different direction. And they're in love. They love what they do. They're happy with. They are comfortable with the choice they made. And I'm like, you know what? I still have places that I want to go, certain other levels. And no, it's not too late. Because, when you're young, you think 50 is so old.
Oh,
I
my
just turned
Lord.
54 on Monday.
Okay,
So,
happy
what I mean?
birthday. Belated, happy belated.
So, when you're kids, you think 50's so old. Like, take me out in the back. I literally had to tell my kid, I know I told y'all to take me out in the back when I hit my 50. No, don't do that. I'm good. Everybody laughing like, yeah, Dad, we was ready.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I'm letting you know. No, I'm good.
Oh, God.
But a part of that is like, when we were younger, our parents and our grandparents, they had been through so much. There was a level of fatigue that we saw.
Yes.
Not just in their body motions, but on their face.
Yes.
And as a young person with a whole lot of energy, you don't want no parts of that. I want no parts of anything slowing me down. I'm ready to run around the world in my bare feet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
No motor attached. I got all the energy in the world. I will run across the earth. I have the energy. I have the motivation, all of that.
Yes.
But it's funny how, as you get older and things start attaching themselves to you, whether it's responsibility or regret or WTH-ness that we see just in the world today. You're like, I never thought I would see fill in the blank, and yet here it is. And it attaches itself to you. It makes you feel like, oh my gosh. And then the unexpected shows up in your life. Being in a job you never expected to be in, which was not part of your initial plan when you had all this youth and energy, taking care of people beyond what you expected to take care of, putting yourself in all types of situations that attack and drain and challenge your energy. So I think a lot of that not believing in it's never too late is wrapped up in there's so much in front of my face right now, I can't see beyond it. At what point in your life, if it's happened yet, so let me not assume that it's happened, at what point in your life did you say, I don't care what anybody else says I am or am not supposed to be doing at this age, air quotes happening for those who are listening, I'm gonna do whatever, even if it sounds like something a 25-year-old could be doing, I don't care. I just feel like I want to do it. I'll start with you, Greg.
Well, I found out, because people say once you hit the 40s, it's the F at 40s. I just don't care. That was the truth
never
for me.
heard that.
You never heard that?
Never
I've
heard that.
All grown up, when I hit 40s, I'm like, hey, I still care. Like, I still
never
care.
heard that.
But it wasn't until the pandemic hit, and then a lot of time to reflect. That's when I'm like, okay, what do I want to do from here? How do I see myself now? Where do I want to go? What are some of the things that I might have put on the back shelf and forgot about that I want to revisit and do again, or just go forward with? And it was basically when I turned 50. Once I turned 50, I could care less of what people think, what they thought, and I didn't care about how I was perceived going into whatever else that I wanted to get into. Long as I was happy, long as I made my family happy and my friends, that's all that mattered to me. You know what I mean? Sometimes, a little bit of that, I don't care either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy, and that's it. So, that's pretty much it. So, like, I got into the stock market now, do stock trading and everything. I would never, 49 and past, would ever think about stock market. Now I love it. It's interesting, it's fun, and make a lot of money. And I have. I love it, And so, and just traveling, cooking, like that, I love it. I love what I do. I just came from Thailand in January, so it was down there. Just getting out, just exploring the world, exploring the cultures, going to Dominican Republic, hanging out with the locals and not at the resorts. I can't stand being at the resorts.
Okay.
I'm out. Oh, Greg, you're crazy. I'm a good person. I know he's got me. I know how to talk to people, not at people. I'm good. And I've never had a problem. I've had people open their house to me.
Oh, wow.
I went to New Orleans. The lady was a waitress there. She was like, come over. My mom's going to cook this, that, and the other thing. Pass the number. Like, these are things that I love. Like, it's an adventure for me. I love to get out and explore wherever I'm at, not the resorts. That's not a vacation. That's not exploring. I have to go out. And that's it.
I love that. Okay. Miss Nancy, when did you say, I don't care what y'all think, I'm doing this?
I think my journey might have started during the pandemic as well. You know, you become a certain age and you realize that you don't have as much time in front of you as you have behind you. And so, you know, are you going to allow people's opinions and just nonsense dictate the trajectory of the rest of your life? And like, now it's not easy sometimes, but I have to keep reminding myself, you know, this is my journey, and I have the authority to do what it is that I was placed here on the earth to do. So why not do what I am meant to do? And so that's what I have to do.
I have a quote on my vision board that says, it's never too late to be what you always could have been.
I like that. I like that.
Never too late to be that. And I love this. So I want to dig more into the food. So we have this very delicious beef stew. What would you say, Greg, for folks who are like, I want to get back into cooking. I fell off since the pandemic. Even you may not have fallen into it in the pandemic. You know, if you were a hospital worker, you were working a lot,
right,
while mostly everybody else was sitting at home. What would you say is the best thing to kind of start your journey into flavorful home cooking?
You have to find what interests you and who talks to you. There's so many influences out there. And this was one of the things that hindered me from becoming one. I'm like, there's so many people. Everybody's on the internet. Everybody's on YouTube. So many cooking shows. I mean, Khalees, Nas, ex-wife. Everybody has a cooking show. And I'm like, but I have people constantly calling me, asking me for this, asking me for that, asking me for this. How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I put this together? So I'm like, okay, well, pretty much. I have a lot of people that's attached to me from places that I work, from places that I'm still at now, and they always constantly feel comfortable coming up to me, asking me questions. So I'm like, okay, I guess I do have a somewhat fan base. So, you know, I speak to people, speak to them the way they like to be spoken to, and I reach them. Okay. So, yeah, here I am.
Okay. I love it. Is there anything for both of you? Is there anything that you always wanted to do that's still on your bucket list that you're still hesitant to try?
Ooh.
Since we're talking about, I don't care what other people think, it's my time, I'm living my life. Are there
Adventure-wise,
things,
work-wise, what type of life?
in any area of your life, is there anything you're like, I always wanted to do that, but I don't know.
Okay.
Still, even in the midst of your revelation, you still have some misgivings or still tentative.
Honestly, I don't think so.
That's good.
Because I think I'm doing everything that I've ever wanted to do. Of course, I would love to do it on a bigger scale, you know, but I'm pretty content where I am, you know, and the things that I'm able to do, I'm able to create. And creativity has always been an important part of me. So
Amen.
I'm in a good place.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that for you. Having no, I still don't know in your life.
And I'm loving this beef stew, so
Thank you.
Listen, Linda, I'm saying it's hard for me to stay quiet when you're talking because it's that good.
You gotta get some garlic bread with it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right.
That's the
Let's
bread.
not forget about the bread.
Don't forget the bread.
And Nicholas, who's over there running the camera, and he's got the food cam. You want some bread too, sir? Yes, sir. He's giving the thumbs up.
Go pass it
We're gonna
over.
make sure he gets. Okay, thank you.
Pleasure.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry, somebody was about to talk.
Well, I think you answered, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and my answer is real short and sweet. No. I lived a very adventurous life. Traveling, skydiving,
Oh, wow.
and all types of snorkeling, going in the sea. I'm very adventurous. Something that I haven't done and it interests me, I'm going to do it. An opportunity. So if the opportunity comes around, I'll try foods. I'll try different things. And that's pretty much me. Like I said, I have a passion for it. Going to different countries, trying different foods, trying different things that they eat that we would be like, no, we wouldn't do that.
I ain't eating that.
Like scorpions. So, come up from the subway in Japan and they got scorpion carts, like hot dog carts. And they take the scorpions and they grill them all. Then they go, huh. And I'm like, and you watching them still curling.
Oh, my
Lord. What am I supposed to do with this? Feed it to a cat? They're like, no, you eat it. You bite the stinger off first, get the stinger out, and then finish the rest. I'm like, alrighty then. All right. And
did you try? Oh, you did?
I did that.
How was
Don't
it?
tell me it tastes like chicken.
No, it doesn't taste like
They
chicken.
always say that. Don't they always say that? Everything tastes like chicken.
Yes.
And what it actually tastes like, no lie, it tastes like fried shrimp shells. Like the end of the shrimp.
Oh,
when you have
wow.
the tail on
So
there.
it tastes like you're eating shells.
Yeah, it tastes like a shrimp shell. You know what I mean? So,
I don't
but
like
it's supposed to be rich in protein, whatever. But like I said, I've tried a lot of things. There was a couple of things I wouldn't try when they were just like, huh, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Tiffany, please don't make me choke.
There's a couple of times I said no, not happening here.
Amen.
And
It would be a lot.
unless you ask, I'm not going to say. But there's some things I'm just like, not happening. I'm sorry.
There's a whole lot of things I would say.
Yeah. But
That
I'm
included.
adventurous, so I tried it. Scorpions.
I'm
all types of
clearly
things.
not that adventurous.
The
And I'm fine
poisonous
with that.
blowfish. I had that. I had the whole
Poisonous
team.
blowfish.
I had my whole team so mad at me. They were so upset. So when you go over there, they have a poisonous blowfish, and like the stomach holds the poison, and the chef, it has to be trained properly.
Oh
like
my
he
God.
can literally cut over it and cut a little bit. One pin drop will kill 10,000 people. One
What?
pin drop. So if he cuts it wrong, you're done. You're out of there. So when I ordered Greg, no, Greg, you're crazy. People walking out, mad, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Opportunity's here, I'm going to try it. They come out with sparklers, balloons, the chefs come out, everybody comes out, wait for you. One lady has a clock. You know what I mean? Like, shh. Okay,
No, the clock with the countdown, and
yes,
if you
yeah,
pass
yeah.
away, oh,
Okay, you're okay, you're good. Horns go off.
he's
and
going to stay
everything.
alive in 3, 2. He's still here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Chef gets to keep his
My
job.
whole
and you
crew
get
that
to
was
keep
with
living.
me was so upset with me. Like, how could... That's just me. I'm adventurous that way. Yes.
Here's
Was
the
it
thing.
worth it though?
Yeah, no.
No.
Okay, I was about to say, if you said yeah and stayed
No,
on that,
no,
I don't know.
No. The sauce you tried with was good, but that's the only thing that gave it the flavor. But it was okay. It was just nice. It was all right. Nothing I wanted to try again. One more time. Opportunity came. I did it.
So, okay, I feel that way about certain things. So when I went to New Orleans, I had frog's legs.
They're good.
We don't ever need to have that again, but I had it.
Because it tastes like day old chicken wings.
See?
I've had it and
It
it's like,
had no relationship to me in my tongue with chicken at all.
Yeah.
I kept seeing Kermit every time I took a bite, and I was like, I can't get past the visual of what this is on my plate.
Okay.
And so it's, for me, it's the visual. I know what you are, and I
okay.
can't. Like,
okay.
even though I've seen chickens, I know what they are. I don't have the same relationship to, I can't, as I do.
Because we grew up with it.
You grew up with
Right.
it. Right. That's it was part of my.
Yes.
Well, I can't always say that either because I grew up with chitlins and I won't touch that now.
Okay.
You can't put a chitlin on my plate now.
I didn't grow up with that. My
I
mom
did.
and my dad, they ate that, and they were just like, all right, y'all two ain't gonna eat this. Because we just like, no, not happening.
No, it was at every Christmas dinner, and I ate it until I realized what it was,
Okay.
and I never had it again.
Okay. I've had it recently for the very first time. I had it recently, and it wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Nothing that I wanted to have again, but again, it was an opportunity, and this gentleman was known as one of the best to ever do it, and it was just like, he will be honored if you try it. Especially you being a chef, he would love for you to try it. And like I said, I'm adventurous, and I tried it, and it was excellent. It was really good, but something I wouldn't want to try again, just to try it.
No need. So yeah, my level of adventure is, I guess I'm kind of mid-ground on adventurous. activities, especially when it comes to food, just because more often than not, if it doesn't smell right, or if I get past how it looks, you could have the most banging sauce attached to it. It's not going to stay down. It's going to find its way back.
Okay.
There's too much connection between what I see and what I taste and what I smell, that if they don't align, it's not happening.
Yeah, I remember my mom used to cook the chitlins in the kitchen. I'd be like, what? Why?
I smell like boo-boo.
Oh my God. Why?
Yes.
Like,
that
I'm
was me and my
good.
sister reaction like, what's in that pot?
House smells like boo-boo.
You go looking for the cat. Okay, the cat's still alive.
No ham, no turkey.
Even the cat's walking around like this.
Right, like, oh.
I'm like, wow, it's
Horrible.
the cat off.
Don't put that in my bowl, please. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I think it's so interesting just to consider, like, what we're willing to do, what we're willing to say, no holds barred. I'm going to just go out here and do certain things as you get older. And I guess depending on, what happened in your life, some people get extra cautious.
Yes.
And some people are a little too free, trying a little too many things that are like, you really could be done at the end of this activity.
Right.
Easily. Not wise. For you, how do you, both of you, regulate that? How do you not go too far? And how do you not crawl into a hole based on how life swings, based on how things go? I'll start with you this time, Nancy.
Oh, that's a hard one. I think I just have to trust my inner barometer. You feel and when things are safe, when there's some danger attached, or when you're sinking back into, just pulling back from something that you really should pursue. So I try to trust, that inner barometer, if you will. There's no other way to really put it, and learning to trust that more. It's difficult because, you have the other voices, that try to persuade, but, you really have to just tap into that inner knowing of, okay, this is all right for you. You need to go for this.
Right.
You don't need to touch that. Leave it alone.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Listening to that inner voice. Okay. How about you, Greg?
Me, I have a nice surrounding of friends and family around me.
That's good.
So when I talk to them, we have conversations or whatever, they'll remind me, like, hey, when are you supposed to be doing this? Or when are you supposed to be looking at that? Whatever happened with that? So they'll keep me in line, they'll keep me in check. Like, oh man, I forgot all about that. Thank you so much. Let me get on that today, and I'll put that on my list to start knocking out things to keep me going in that direction. So it's basically just having the right circle of people around you. Because when you have people who truly, authentic, love you and like you and care for you, they will listen to you. They will remember the things you say, and they remind you. And it's the same thing I do to them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, when are you supposed to be doing this?
Right.
Whatever happened to that? Speaking of that, Tiff, you got a conversation. I'm not going to bring that up. There's a conversation like, hey, when are you supposed to be doing something? Whatever happened to that? When you really genuine care for people and you really have that good, tight circle around you. So for me, that's my circle. I'm blessed to have some really good people around me, family and friends.
I love that.
It keeps me circle and grounded.
Yeah.
I love that. And there's nothing like knowing that you have a strong group of friends, knowing that you have loving, honest family. And when I say loving and honest, I do mean people who can say things with love. Like I've seen different content recently on social media that speaks to this, about how people are brutally honest. And more often than not, the brutally honest people just lean into the brutal part when you can say the same thing without the brutality easily. But some people don't, and there's something in that. And there's a nuance thing when you say listen to yourself. you can feel when someone is that brutally honest. Some folks, it's not like they don't know how to. Some people, they don't know how to talk or say things, versus someone who has like a point at the end of that nudge.
Yeah.
I
have a story about that.
You done? I got something to comment on that too.
When we were doing Richard III with Theater in the X, right? I'm doing my scene, right? Zahara McGill sitting on the sidelines. She gonna kill me for telling this story, but it's all right. She not gonna kill me because I tell the story everywhere I go. She's sitting on the sidelines. She's just popping pistachios, looking just like this. And I'm up there doing my thing. I thought I was anyway. And I come back and I sit next to her. And she doesn't blink an eye. That wasn't it. But after that period, she began to tell me what it was that was missing, what I needed to do. And every time I talk about this in her presence, and she says, I said that because I didn't want you going out there looking like a fool. And I mean, our relationship is so solid because of that.
She told you your slip was showing.
Yes, and she helped me to fix it.
Now, what do you think, before you tell your story, here's an example of the difference in what I'm talking about, the point at the end of the nudge versus the blunted nudge. Saying, that ain't it, versus, that ain't it, and you don't need to be up there.
That part.
It's the colon,
Right.
you don't need to be up there.
Right.
That's not part of the truth.
Right. That's not.
That's your opinion.
Right.
That part right there.
Yep.
And your opinion don't matter.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, brutally honest, you're like hitting home for me. That's one of my things I've been told pretty much all my life. That I need to work on my delivery. There was like, it's your delivery. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm just like, I'm coming from my heart. So when I'm passionate about fixing or telling someone they slip or showing or whatever that is, I'm not trying to say it to be mean, and maybe you've heard it dropped on you in certain mean ways, but if you let me finish my statement, you'll hear at the end how you think it's going one way and it'll turn and go a whole totally different way. Sometimes I'm a little too drawn out, getting to the point, and but I'm brutally honest, and I think I don't know. I love being brutally honest because.
But is that really brutally honest? So the thing about what I've seen on the internet and what they talk about, yes, not always what you say, but how you say it.
Right.
There's being frank, no holds barred.
Right.
I'm just going to tell you, no fluff.
Right.
Your slip is showing.
Right. Something's in your teeth. Yes.
Instead of, you look like a daggone fool.
Now that would never be me.
So
I'd
there's
never deliver
the
anything like
thing.
as an insult.
Right.
And there's a thing. There's brutally honest. Is that
Yeah.
you look like a fool?
Me would be like, that wasn't it. You need to try that again. Look at that as one way you learn not to do it. That's one fail that you learned not to do it this way. Let's try some other ways.
And there is, for those who are able to pick up on those additional nonverbal cues.
Right.
Because should you say that wasn't it, with that eye roll, with the looking up and down, the judgment. So that's the other layer of it. So as we're talking about communication, that's being able to read what's in front of you.
Right.
What are people saying without words? That's the part that screams at me often. And there's been times where I have had arguments with folks because they're like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, it's not even the fact that you didn't say or do anything, but it was in your whole presentation, that subliminal you were sending me, that nonverbal. I could hear the nonverbal. I could hear the judgment behind what you said. I could hear even a bit of the jealousy behind what you said. I could hear you intentionally don't want me to do this thing because you tried it a long time ago, it didn't work for you, so how dare you go out and do it. behind what you said. And it's the fact that there's people who don't believe other folk know their inner workings, that don't believe they can read that subliminal, and folks get defensive and upset and angry, and you miss the point. And so I just want to say, in this space, when we're talking about being honest, brutally, bluntly honest, can you actually handle being honest brutally with yourself about certain aspects of your life, even in this period of wonderment, even in this period of exploration? Can you handle your own brutal honesty with yourself about stuff that's raggedy still? I'll start with Greg.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'll go in. I am one, I've always, because how I deliver things to certain people, I want to make sure I'm not one of those type of people who can dish it but can't handle it. And I'm my own worst critic. I'm harder on myself as a failure of anything. You know, a failure on a cater event because I left or forgot one or two things. I'm brutal on myself. Like, man, you got to get better. You got to figure out how not to forget things when you go and doing, you know, outdoor catering. It's hard. It's rough. But I'm that person. Like, I just always want to outdo the last thing that I've done.
Okay.
Always try to push forward. So, the answer, yes. I'm very honest with myself as well as with other people.
That's awesome. Miss Nancy.
So
I like the way she says
there was a point in my life where I kept running across the scripture that said, I will take you to Babylon and there I will deliver you. And I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like, why I gotta go to Babylon? You know, I get you to deliver me right here. You know what I mean? But I kept, you know, I either hear it or I would read it, run across it. And I'll speed it up. I got the revelation that Babylon is the confrontation with self. And not many people will get their deliverance because they're not willing to go there. So it was, taking that look inside of me and dealing with my mess. Oh, it was rough. It was rough. But I will say many apologies were given to my family. You know, I had to acknowledge my part in everything that went wrong. So I'm there. You know, I don't always like what I see when I look inside, and I'm willing to deal with it. So now, I wasn't always like that. It wasn't, but you know, thank God for Babylon.
Okay. And thank God for just being in a space where you can say, yeah, that was raggedy. Yeah, I need to do better on that.
I need to apologize.
I need to apologize. I need to let it go when that one doesn't apologize.
That part. That part.
That part is hard for me. I'm still fighting that one. Even though it's there in my mind, I'm still fighting with that one.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a lot of people who've done me wrong, you know, even though I've done them so right.
Hello.
So I'm stuck on just because I did this,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and I didn't receive it back. I'm stuck on that, like, I deserve apology. I have to get to that point where I have to say, it's okay, even if you don't.
Yeah.
And I got some friends out there, and you know exactly who you are.
Ooh, he looked in the camera for that one.
But I guess talking about it now, it's all right. I'm letting it go. It's done. It's over with.
That's good. That's
Neighbors too.
Oh, that's a whole separate show. In fact, they have like ID channel shows about bad neighbors.
Oh my goodness, man! I gotta get on that one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I appreciate this conversation, and I think like sometimes the best conversations happen over a meal. For whatever reason, your guard is down because you're enjoying the food, or your guard is down because you hate the food and you have like a commonality. Thankfully, that is not our situation today. But I have been in situations where it was like, ooh, there was a bond over how bad this dinner was. My Lord.
Been there.
I think it's awesome to be able to come together and just kind of bare your soul, knowing that you're in a safe space. Do you try to create this environment at home, i.e. when you're at home, if you're at home with other people, do you create the environment where folks can come together at the table and just talk? I will just insert that. One of the many reasons why I do this, and I have like events around the holidays or do certain things, is because there was such a warmness back in the day when I was when I was young, of coming to the dinner table and just talking about your day. Mm-hmm. I missed that. It was something. It was something that was very connecting, very soothing. It was a nice break between, school and then the rest of the day, or for my parents, work and the rest of the day. You have this even ground where there's a good meal in front of you and you're just talking. There was very little arguing. There might have been some, spicy comments, but nobody was throwing food and, going crazy or anything like that. I miss that, and so I want to have that with my friends. I want to have that with family, because it is an evening out point. Mm-hmm. It is a safe point. Do you work to create that in your own homes today? I'll start with Nancy.
Unfortunately, I haven't had that experience recently. Just the way things go, everybody's on different schedules and in different places. But, I remember when we used to gather for the holidays, and what an awesome time that was, just everybody sitting around and catching up. And I have one son who, he should have been Bernie Mac. It's like, oh my God, he will have you crying from the minute he opens his mouth till he, walks out the door. So, I miss those times, and, hopefully life will get back to a point where we can start doing that again.
Amen. I only have 2 minutes left. Your thoughts?
Mine's just sweet and easy. Yes, because of what I do. I am in hospitality. So how can I not have hospitality at home?
Well, that doesn't always mean it works. I'm in communication, and some of the most difficult people to communicate with are people in communications.
Not in my field. And maybe because it's always in my mind. It's always on my mind. Like when I show my kids how to cook and stuff like that, they always be like, Dad, why do you always keep your sandwich so fancy and everything? I said, well, I do it for other people. Why wouldn't I do it for myself?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? You should too. If you're doing a bunch of things and it's something that's simple and easy, why not do it for yourself? Yeah. You're more important than they are. They were like, you know what, Dad, you're right. So yes, and plus I have a huge bar in my living room. So,
okay.
So it's a nice space, and people love to come, hang out, talk, and just relax. I've literally had people who play hooky from work to come to my house.
Oh wow!
And just relax. Like, you know what? I always feel comfortable relaxing here. Your place is just that place. Just relax, talk, maybe have a drink, or maybe just you fix something up real quick, and we just sit back and talk. Hey, did you see this? Did you hear about that? And that's it. So yes, it is.
Well, thank you both. Thank you for joining me at the table for brunch today.
My
Thank you for the amazing brunch.
Thank you.
Chef Greg, tell people your socials and how folks can get in contact with you so that you can make a meal for them.
Yes. So I gotta go on my phone for that one.
That's all right.
I want that. Oh man, I turned it off. We have to come back later for that.
Okay, no problem. That's all good. So we'll make sure we put that information so folks can hire him so he can make meals for you. Yes. Nancy, what's next? How can people follow you on social?
You can follow me on Instagram at _Nancy_Marie or the Bookstore Official. And I'm on Facebook, Nancy Marie. And stay tuned, there's more coming. We're actually doing a film premiere tomorrow, Dear Mama. My first lead role in a film. Very timely film with all of the gun violence and the deaths that are going on in the city. So that's next, and that will be available on Tubi and Amazon after the premiere, so stay tuned and tune in.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much. I appreciate it. Much love going out to my producer, Nicholas Steptoe.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Yeah, doing a great job. Listen, have a peaceful, positive, and productive day. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.